has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast, hour number 2 here on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. Carver High in for Scotty. And yes, usually every Tuesday and Wednesday, you get the extended version of the very popular SportsGrid Radio show, Carver and Lisi, which airs weeknights at 8 p.m. East. An hour later today, but you still get it, the extended version with myself and the encyclopedia of college football, the one, the only. Go for the 2, Joe Lisi. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Carver. Oh, better late than never, right? So I'm here. I'm locked and loaded. Too bad, and I know we haven't gotten a chance to talk about this. We couldn't eke out that win in Boston last night with those gutless Pacers. We were so close. And Freddie Freeman, too, gutless. She told me great numbers last night. I think he was 0 for 4. I would have killed it last night. But at least Billy Ho is on the horizon tomorrow.
You should have tailed me with Christian Walker last night, Joe. That was the guy. Christian Walker went deep for us. Big number, too. Would have been very nice for you to put that in the portfolio, but you did not want to do that. Me and Cam did start in the first hour talking about, of course, the Celtic-Pacer game from last night, the overtime win for Boston. And basically, Joe, I'm sure you agree with me in this front. I mean, it was an absolute melt by the Pacers. They had the game won. They were up 4 with under a minute to go. They had the ball up 3 with under 15 seconds left in the game, and they were not able to get it home. So I figured I'd start the hour with you, Joe, by letting you hear Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle take all the blame for that loss last night, and then you can go ahead and go after him after he's finished. Here's Rick.
Well, I love the way our guys fought in this game.
Come on.
This loss is totally on me. With 10 seconds in regulation, we should have just taken the timeout, advanced the ball, and found a way to get it in and made a free throw or two and ended the game. But it didn't happen, and we made some other mistakes. But our guys just need to concentrate on fighting the way they fought in this game from start to finish. And we'll be back Thursday.
Gutless, Joe. It was gutless.
And that would have helped you. You had the, 2.5 games or 1.5 games?
2.5 games, and now I'm basically calling it as a loss now. I feel like you lose a game like that in game 1. There's like a part of me that thinks they're going to get smoked now. Like they're just going to get smoked in this series. Like that was their chance to have some footing in this series, take an early 1-0 lead. Now, maybe they'll come out tomorrow night, Joe, with the same intensity and the same pace, and maybe they'll take game 2, but I don't see it. I think they lost a very big opportunity, Joe, last night to get a win in this series.
Huge. They were up. They were up 5 at one point, 115, 110, I believe, and they gave up a 3, and the whole complexity of the game changed after they could see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm sorry. It was Halliburton stepped up. Siakam was a basic ghost for the overtime in the last 2 minutes of that game. I mean, outside of Halliburton, you got to give it to the big guy. You got to want to eat. Unbelievable. I put that on Siakam, not even Carlisle. He was gutless in the final 2 minutes. Gutless.
Carlisle tried to take the blame, and then Tyrese Halliburton said afterwards that, no, don't blame coach. It's my fault that we didn't win. Here we go.
That's not on him. Us as players, we got to do a better job. I had 2 bad turnovers that I feel like cost us the game, one in fourth and one in overtime. So, I understand he's protecting us, protecting, me as well. But I'll take that more than he should. I got to be better, and I will be better in game 2, and we'll respond the right way.
There you go, Joe. Stepping up at the podium. Sometimes you got to go to the podium and take it.
I know, but I'm too bitter. I don't want to buy in completely. Like, I'm still upset at him. The fact that I needed 1 point from Siakam to hit a parlay. I had the Pacers plus 10. I had Halliburton for 4 threes. And I had Siakam for 25 points. He finished with 24. So you know what? Gutless. Chopped. Get him out of here. I don't want to talk about him.
He let you down. That's what he did. It's just kind of
What
the way
about
that it
that
goes.
Naismith? I had him for 2 threes. He finished with 1. Gutless.
I'm well aware. I had him for 2 threes also, and he finished with 1. He fouled out of the game in the overtime. I thought when we got to the overtime, maybe we'd get lucky, and he'd get a chance. You know, he had like a corner 3 attempt with like 4 or 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it was a wide open look in the corner, and he missed it. And I said to myself there, I go, he probably won't shoot another chance in this game. Yeah, that was it. That was our chance to get him for the second 3, and he didn't go there. Pacers are now down a game 10-1 to win the series, Joe. 10-1 for the Pacers, minus 2,000 for the Celtics. They will play game 2, of course, tomorrow night in Boston. There you go with the series odds for you, Joe. 10-1 for Indiana. And the number for tomorrow night, so 8.5, down a little bit, Joe, from game 1 after the good performance by Indiana, and the total up to 224.5. And I don't think they can make that. That I'm going over again, Joe. 224.5. Let's go up and away with that total tomorrow night.
Hey, you like the applesauce, Mikey. You keep shoveling it in your mouth. You love the over, right? Get the bib out. The kid's eating fat. That's what it's all about. I will say this. I don't like the 10-1 number. What is the number on Indiana now? I haven't looked in regards to them winning the title. They were 30-1 yesterday. Are they longer than that?
I'm going to give you those numbers in a little bit. I'll give you a little preview now. I'll give you a little preview. It is 40. I'll give you a preview now. But I got the whole board for you coming up here in a little bit. But 40-1 is where they sit after losing that first game.
If they win that game 1, it probably would have been 15.
I saw it live when they were up in the fourth quarter at 17. So at one point they had it at 17 when they were winning late in the fourth quarter. And then obviously tumbled back down to 40 after they lost it. Yes, Joe, they got smashed. We do have another game 1 tonight. This one in Minnesota. The Mavericks and the Timberwolves will start the Western Conference Finals. And Dallas going on the road here, of course, just like they did last series. That does not bother Jason Kidd one bit. But first, let's hear him talking about the growth of Luka Doncic. 2 years ago, they were in the West Final. Now, what has that experience gotten them 2 years later? Here's Kidd.
He was probably on the cusp of being one of the best players in the world then, but now he's one of the best players in the world.
I like Jason Kidd. I like him.
He's older. Maturity. He's seen every defense, the double teams, so being able to use his experience here, I think, again, the experience going through the last couple years, understanding 22 and then last year, and then now being able to use those 2 years to get where we are today. Yeah, I think so. I think he's different in that way. And then he's probably he's worked on his game, and he's gotten better.
I think you're just look. He's done a nice job. You're talking your position up here. That's what you're really doing. Look at this guy, great coach, soft spoken. You're talking your position because
he's a philosopher.
You want Dallas.
He has it all figured out.
This is it.
I tell you what, they don't start fast in this game tonight. I'm going to want them to be a la old school Bobby Knight. Throw a chair across the floor.
They've been bad in these game 1s, Joe. You look, I mean, whether even both series, Clippers and Oklahoma City, not good starts for them in either one. So I'm not sure if maybe to play, I did this in the last series. I did the Oklahoma City to win game 1, Dallas to win the series. And I'm thinking about it again. I don't know which side I want to go on. We have a lot of Dallas equity.
You go against me tonight. I won't talk. The show will be fireworks. You go against Dallas tonight. That's it.
What if I took Minnesota to win tonight and Dallas to win the series? Why can't I do that?
No, you can't do that. You can't do that because then you're putting negativity on us. Yeah, you're putting the kibosh. Don't do it.
We're back coast to coast right after this.
The Bostonian versus the book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. Took a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 years, 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the book.
And now you have to qualify in these majors. You got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. Mm-hmm. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
This sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And we are back, Ferrall, coast to coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. We've talking Dallas and Minnesota, Game 1, Western Conference Finals tonight in the NBA. Joe has now told me that I'm not allowed to do anything with Minnesota tonight. I'm not allowed, is what he said. So we'll have to.
No, you're
not allowed.
Not on my watch. It'll be fireworks tonight. I'll gun for you. I will. You're not going to do that to us. We're sitting on a Dallas to win the West, and you're going to be rooting for Minnesota in Game 1. Are you gutless? You're gutless.
Well, Joe, they're not going to sweep them. Minnesota's going to win some games.
How do you know? It starts with 1. You got it all figured out.
They start slow, Joe. I think Timberwolves might be the play tonight.
Outright
Dallas
tonight.
starts slow in this series.
Outright. Don't get me crazy. I'm already crazy enough. Outright tonight. Now I don't even want the points. I'm going to lay points. What do you want? 2.5? I'll give you 2.5 tonight with the T-Wolves. Come on. Come on.
Here is Timberwolves head coach Chris Finch. Of course, the Mavericks pose a lot of problems, including their backcourt with Kyrie and Luka. Here is Finch talking about the matchup.
I mean, I expect it, probably be a long series like most of them are these days at this point in the season.
Really?
Every series has its own personality, so I'm not sure I can predict the ups and the downs right now.
This guy's
we got to
overrated.
be ready for a hot start. We've been good getting off these starts in the series, so
cruise control.
That's served us well. So that's what we're focused on right now.
Yeah, you're on cruise control. Outright tonight. I love Luka. I love Kyrie. They're going to smash them. Smash them.
I don't know about, smash them. You see, this is what gets me nervous. I think you're way too overconfident and you're dismissing Minnesota.
I'm dismissing?
You're dismissing Minnesota. And Minnesota, as I said to you yesterday, very impressive what they've done so far in these playoffs.
I think, you know what? I think you're drinking the Kool-Aid. I think you got the velour sweatsuit on in the corner with the headband. I really think you're buying into the fact that, they beat Denver and a gutless joker that just laid down. They scored 60 points in game number 5. 60 points. They ran out of the gym and couldn't close on their home court. Now, that's not to say Anthony Edwards isn't a star. I love him. I think he's a modern-day MJ. He plays. He's intense. He's a former dog. I get that. But at the end of the day, Edwards is not the whole team. I like the backcourt of Kyrie and Luka. 2 minus 1 is still a 1. We got the extra experience. We got the extra skill. Cat hasn't stepped up outright tonight. I'm gunning for you. Now I feel even more confident. And the fact that Finch got up on the podium and said, oh, yeah, 7 games. Oh, yeah, he's a philosopher, too. He knows. I hope we run his ass right out of the gym tonight.
Mavericks getting 4.5 tonight.
I don't
206.5 is the total. So Joe's on the money line, which is plus 155 for Dallas here. Look, I'm rooting for Dallas to win the series, Joe. I am.
You're rooting for Minnesota to win tonight because I know you, and you're going to bet Minnesota to win game 1. And that's not right. That's going against us.
Yeah, but Joe, if I play, I'm playing Minnesota to win and Dallas to win the series.
Why would you hope that Minnesota wins game 1? Why would you hope
Because they're not going to sweep them, Joe.
How do you
They're not
know?
going to sweep them because they're not.
Right,
How about
you know
this?
what?
I'll tell you
Your
this.
new
There is
Van Gundy.
There is
you got it all figured
no
out.
shot
Break
that
down
they
the
sweep
X's
them.
and O's, Van
No
Gundy.
shot.
There you
is
go.
no shot that they sweep them. No shot.
Okay, Coach. All right.
No shot.
I'm betting 4 games to Dallas wins it. 4-0.
Go get it.
Sweep.
Go play it. Show the ticket, Joe. Let me see the ticket. How about give me the ticket?
After the show,
I'll put the ticket out there.
That's it. Well, it's not enough. You didn't do it. You didn't get this. All right, well, we'll hear that too. It's never enough. It's never enough. Infinity.
Mavericks
you
to win.
Infinity.
Mavericks in 4 is 14-1, by the way. For Mavericks in 4, 14-1.
That's juicy. That is juicy.
Most bet player props for tonight. Kyrie over 20.5. Alexander Walker over 1.5 threes for the Wolves. Alexander Walker over 6.5 points. Irving over 29.5 points, rebounds, assists. Luka over 28.5 points. We need more Kyrie and Luka in this series, Joe. They cannot score at the rate that they did in the Thunder series. They need to give more.
No, that's why Luka 35 plus at least tonight. 35 for Luka. We go Kyrie for the threes. 4 threes for Kyrie and Luka for 35. And the under comes in. Because I think
You got it
Dallas
all
plays a
figured
little
out.
bit
The
better.
under. So you got all these guys scoring points, and you got the under coming in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Luka for 35 is plus 260, Joe. Luka for
See?
35.
I got it all figured out.
And how many threes for Kyrie?
4.
Plus 180.
There you go.
Put
There's
them
your bet.
together, 11-1.
There
if
you
you
go.
put them
Perfect.
together.
Perfect.
That's what you want. That's where you're at.
I'll put a cherry on top and make Dallas money line. Now what do you got? Add it on. Build it, and they shall come.
17.5-1. Plus
There you go.
17.50.
Perfect.
For
Now
that.
we're talking.
Well, yeah, you're the wheel, so you've got it. You're in. Minnesota's minus 185 for the series. Dallas is plus $150. And you said you wanted, Joe, the 4 teams left, the updated numbers for the title. Celtics moved to minus 165 with their win last night. Pacers went to 40-1. Minnesota, Dallas unchanged, obviously.
Still like Dallas at 5-1. I'm riding this wave. I think if they can get through the T-Wolves, which I think they will, I think they match up very well against either the Celtics or Pacers respectively. There is a part of me that does want to jump on Indiana at 40-1, but I'm just held back because we missed the 90-1 number that you held us back on. $50
Nobody
of value
held back anything,
in the
Joe.
garbage
They
can.
were down 3-2 in the Knicks series. That's when
I
they
don't
were
wanna hear
offering 90-1. It doesn't matter, Joe. It's that you didn't miss the number. Nobody thought they were going to win those 2 games. Okay, it is what it is. Now so then go ahead. They're down a game to Boston and they're 40. Reload. Go in for it. Make it happen. Put it with the golf. We're back coast to coast right after this.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. To your quarterback in the first round. Yeah. It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 years, 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
And now you have to qualify in these majors. You got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And we are back, Ferrall, coast to coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. Joe, I give you this because it's, you're the encyclopedia of college football, and this just came down in terms of this college football playoff and your viewing of it. ESPN and TNT Sports have reached a 5-year agreement for TNT to sublicense select college football playoff games from ESPN, beginning with the upcoming college football season. TNT will now present 2 first-round college football playoff games during the next 2 seasons. I know that this probably bothers you, Joe, because you are a traditionalist. It's bad enough that they've expanded the college football playoff to 12 teams. That's already grinded your gears enough. But now you're going to have to watch the game somewhere that's never had college football before. Now, I don't know, Joe, if they're just going to – it sounds like sub-licensing. Does that mean maybe that's still going to be like ESPN produces, just going to be on there, or are they going to do their own production? I'm not sure, but I know it's going to bother you watching college football on a non-traditional college football network.
Well, you see, you don't know me that well, Carver, because I am the encyclopedia of college football. And back in the day, I'm old enough to remember that they used to have games on TBS and Raycom. Okay, so that TNT is a subsidiary of TBS. We know that, so it is old school for me, so I don't mind. Plus, we have March Madness on TNT, True TV. Why not? Let's get the games back on JP Sports. Remember that? Back in the ACC? Come on, Prime. Let's do it. I remember that. I have games on VHS, Tulane versus Alabama with Chris Anderson, 1993. Raycom. I have those games, not you. Me. I said it. Old school. Dennis Riddle. Alabama. What do you want to do? Freddie Kitchens. Who do you want to do?
Who do you want to have, Joe? Listen to you. I remember Raycom, Joe. Raycom was in the mix for a very long time.
Let me tell you a funny story quickly about Raycom. I used to call Raycom for $100. They would make you a copy of any game you wanted back in the day. They actually had a business, side business. You write them the games you want. They used to make you the VHS.
I could absolutely see you doing that. You're one of the few people that I could see actually doing that, calling and asking for the VHS of some random, Kentucky, Missouri game that was played in the middle of September.
Back in the start, just so you know, back in the start of the internet with the .com bubble back in 2000, 2001, there used to be a tape traders network where I used to be a part of. You used to trade games of college football. So I have a game, 1988, Clemson and Florida State. I'm going to trade it for the 1990 Minnesota-Ohio State game with Carlos Snow and Greg Fry and Bobby Olive. How about that?
Also tonight, Joe, on the radio show, I'm going to give you all of these Fox Friday night Big Ten games. They actually have a couple Big 12 games sprinkled in, too. I know that you're very excited about Rutgers visiting USC on October the 25th in primetime on Fox on a Friday night. So I know that one already has you.
Rutgers wearing the scarlet and white uniforms in the Coliseum. Oh, it's almost, it'll remind me of
They gave Rutgers a bunch
Fresno
of these
State.
games. Rutgers is on twice on these Friday night.
You know why they did it, right? You know why they did it. They get
New York. They still are under the impression that people in New York City care about Rutgers. They're still under that impression that Rutgers is a New York market. They still like to try to sell everybody.
There is college football fans in the New York market. There are.
That's not what I said. It's not what I said. I didn't say there wasn't college football fans in the New York market. There are no Rutgers fans in the New York market. There are none.
The New York market is made up of Georgia, Syracuse, USC,
it's not made up of anybody specific. It is people from all over the country and all over the world.
They have bars in the city. USC bars, LSU bars, Georgia
I am aware
bars,
of that, Joe.
Deuce bars.
But they put Rutgers in the Big Ten because they think that is grabbing the New York market when nobody in New York cares about Rutgers, football or otherwise. They don't care. Nobody cares about Rutgers in New York. Nobody. It's the State University of New Jersey, not New York.
You're ruining my day.
They got 2 of those Friday night Fox games, though, for you, Joe. Later on, we will get into the baseball. We have the hockey tonight as well. I've got some football for you later on, too. But we will come back, and we will get Coach Young in for the lion's share here. Mavericks and the Timberwolves tonight, Game 1 of the West Finals. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Wednesday. We're back on the grid right after this.
A surprise winner on the PGA Tour. Taylor Pendrith ends up winning his first PGA Tour win.
He was pretty darn lucky to win. Ben Coles should have won that tournament, also seeking his first PGA Tour victory. He went into the 18th hole, the easiest hole on the golf course, with a one-shot lead, and he was there in 2, just less than 30 feet from the cup.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Do Leafs fans stop watching hockey now, or do they root for other Canadian teams, Cam?
No, I'm not a proponent of that, and it's actually kind of bothered me that, all the people in Toronto are kind of like, oh, now I'm going to cheer for the Oilers. Why? What was your affiliation with the Oilers? Canucks still exist. I don't lose automatically and say, yeah, I'm going to cheer for the Ottawa Senators because they're Canadian. No, I cheer for my bet.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
A lot of books, and outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in Game 1 of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a -115 Canes, Rangers -105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in the second or third inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid. The brighter the lights, the bigger the stakes. Hunt or be hunted. Know your prey. This is a whole new jungle. This is The Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM.
And we are back, Ferrall, Coast to Coast, here on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us. BetMGM, they have you set up for the NHL playoffs, including tonight, of course, as they start the East Finals. Empty net goal betting. Are you kidding me? A new betting market that BetMGM has put together just for the NHL playoffs. They will have empty net goal markets for entire slates as well as specific games. You can find them in the BetMGM Sportsbook app under the NHL tab. Then in the props tab, you can also find the specific game markets under each game along with the NHL props tab. There you see a plus $1.10 for an empty netter for the Panthers and the Rangers tonight at the Garden. Speaking of BetMGM, it is time for the Lion's Share, brought to you by BetMGM, and Coach James Young is with us every day here on C2C. Coach, good to see you as always. Before we get to tonight, we got to talk about this absolute melt by Indiana last night, who played a hell of a game. They had a 4-point lead with under a minute to go. They had a 3-point lead with the Rock with 10 seconds to go. And somehow, Coach, they lost that game. Awful job all around.
Carver High, good to be on with you as always. It's a famous phrase I was told a long time ago when I first got into this business. Players win them, coaches lose them. And this is the number one example I can give you. You get the stop. You're up 3. And for some reason, you don't advance the ball. See, people don't understand this. When you get a stop or the ball goes out of bounds in the NBA, in the WNBA, actually in women's college basketball, only the NCAA men don't have this. You have the ability to advance the ball. We went through this at Monmouth a long time ago, one time, where I said to my coach, we should advance the ball. I said, why? I said, because if we turn it over, it won't be under our basket. What happened? We turned it over, but we got the stop because they still had to bring it up the floor. So when you look at this situation, everybody's talking about the not fouling up 3. To me, it's not advancing the ball. Because if you advance the ball and there's a deflection, if you notice, if Siakam needed one more step, he would have got the ball. So if that deflection goes into the backcourt, he can go and retrieve the ball. Plus, you're not under the basket. So that's number one. Number 2, up by 3, and I got into this a little bit with Donnie today. Analytics. This ain't analytics, folks. This is flat out coaching. You're up 3, you fouled. The hardest thing to do, honestly, folks, go try it, is miss a free throw on purpose a certain way that the ball comes off the rim to secure a rebound and a putback. And if you look at it, Carver High, if you really watch it, when Jaylen Brown caught the ball, he like froze for a second, almost like he was waiting to get fouled. And then when he fell, he was like, all right, well, I might as well shoot it. And it goes in. So as much as Rick Carlisle takes the blame, you have to look at the bench of Indiana and look at 2 particular people, Jim Boylan, Lloyd Pierce. Do you know those names, folks? Those are former head coaches that are on Rick Carlisle's staff. One of them, just one of them, should have said, advance the ball to the front court. If they advance the ball to the front court, Carver, I don't even know if you get into the situation because I think they end up getting fouled. They hit a couple of free throws. Game is over. Terrible job by Indiana. I said they were going to cover the spread. They did. I said they could steal it. They almost did. And now, Carver, I'm nervous. They blew any chance they had of winning this series.
That's what worries me, Coach, because I have him for plus 2.5 games in the series at plus 125, and that would have been just geez, what a great opportunity that was to get one of those 2 games that I need. And they weren't able to do it. And what you're talking about is right. I have a bigger problem with the inbounding the ball than I do with fouling. for the three. I think that's the crucial moment, and it's the same thing that we got all over Nick Nurse about in the Knicks-Sixers series in that game. That's the same situation. Nurse didn't use the timeout, even though he stood there looking like he was pretending to, and the Sixers turned the ball over, and they let the Knicks win that game. It was the same thing, obviously a little different in terms of the scoring and whatnot, but you got to advance that ball. They're giving you half the court, Coach. They're basically telling you, here's half the court. You don't have to go the full length. It just boggles your mind. What are you saving it for? What are you taking the timeout back to the hotel with you after you win? It just doesn't make sense, Coach. You're 100% right. Let's get to tonight. Game 1 in Minneapolis between the Timberwolves and the Mavericks. Mavericks, of course, Luka and Kyrie, been outstanding. Luka's second trip in 3 years to the West Finals. Coach, Minnesota, ultra impressive, sweeping Phoenix and beating the defending champs in the Denver Nuggets. What do we got for game number 1?
Carver High, I'm going to go with the Mavericks plus 4.5. I'm going to go with it for a couple of reasons. Number one, Minnesota was 4-1 versus Dallas during the regular season. Hint, hint. That was before the Daniel Gafford and P.J. Washington trades. I think the also thing you look at is if you look at the scores of Dallas, all of their games have been close. Minnesota's games, besides Game 7, have a lot of times scored high. Blowout one way, blowout another way. Close game. I like Dallas plus the 4.5. I also think you may get a young team in this spot for the first time. A little bit of nerves, but a little bit of a hangover from beating the defending champions on the road. Give me Dallas plus 4.5.
Yeah, I think that could be one way to look at it, Coach. How about Minnesota kind of resettling themselves after the high of coming back and beating the Nuggets in that series? Let's get to the props now, and we will start with Lively on the Dallas side.
Carver, people are going to start to figure out what I'm doing with this. I'm going to go with Derek Lively under 6.5 rebounds. He's gone under in 7 of his last 15 games. Both games versus Minnesota, he's gone under this number. Minnesota, the number 6 team in rebounding rate during the regular season. Dallas, 23rd. And now you have a case of Rudy Gobert hanging around the basket. And I think you can see Lively get himself into foul trouble. If you want to go someone to go over, maybe go Daniel Gafford. I think it's more than bulk of minutes. Derek Lively, under 6.5 rebounds tonight.
On the Minnesota side, why don't we go to Rudy Gobert next, who I saw, Coach, of the 15 highest paid players in the NBA this season, only one of them is still in the playoffs. Rudy Gobert.
Imagine that. Big Frenchie, the big baguette, and he's going to be big tonight. Folks, ready for this one? Over 12.5 points.
Ooh.
Over in 10 of his last 15 games. Hanging around the rim. Offensive rebounds. Rudy Gobert. And it's not because he made a happy birthday turnaround jumper in the last game. I actually think Rudy Gobert could be a problem in this series, and he could be the reason more than anybody else they win the series. You got to think about this, folks. He's not guarding Joker. He's not guarding Embiid. He should stay out of foul trouble. He should get the minutes. If you want to go points plus rebounds, I don't blame you, but he definitely goes over 12.5 points tonight.
Who do you want to have on the Minnesota side running around after Luka the entire night? Who's your guy that you think is going to be doing the most, trying to slow him down?
To me, it's going to be McDaniels because I think McDaniels goes to Luka. I think Conley goes to Kyrie. Reason being is I think that Luka is too big for Conley. I think Jalen McDaniels goes to Luka, try to bump him, keep him off his spot.
I know one thing, Coach. They got to score a lot more than they did in the Oklahoma City series. Kyrie had a bunch of games under 10 points in that series. They cannot have that here. Not tonight, or not at all in this series. Coach, great job as always. Let's cash up tonight. Coach James Young on the Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM. We're back coast to coast right after this.
The Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM.
A surprise winner on the PGA Tour. Taylor Hendricks ends up winning his first PGA Tour win.
He was pretty darn lucky to win. Ben Coles should have won that tournament. Also seeking his first PGA Tour victory, he went into the 18th hole, the easiest hole on the golf course, with a one-shot lead, and he was there in two, just less than 30 feet from the cup.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Do Leafs fans stop watching hockey now, or do they root for other Canadian teams, Cam?
No, I'm not a proponent of that, and it's actually kind of bothered me that, like, all the people in Toronto are kind of like, oh, now I'm going to cheer for the Oilers. Like, why? What was your affiliation with the Oilers? Like, Canucks still exist. Like, I don't lose automatically and say, yeah, I'm going to cheer for the Ottawa Senators because they're Canadian. No, I cheer for my bet.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
A lot of books, and outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in Game 1 of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a -115 Canes, Rangers -105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the second or third inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid at SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us. Davis Maddock is with us every day on C2C. Fantasy Sports Today, Saturday mornings right here on the grid. All right, Davis, we have a lot to do. We have another NBA game tonight. I've got some baseball for you. But Davis always loves to partake in Golf Wednesdays on C2C, especially as we head to Fort Worth, to Colonial, for the Charles Schwab Challenge. And me and Cam were talking about this earlier, Davis. It's one of those weeks where Scotty's playing, and he's plus 260 or 280, depending on where you are. So we're going to have to look down the board and maybe get some guys, and I like where you're going here, get some guys who most weeks in this kind of a field would be in the 30s, but instead we're getting them in the 40s and 50s. I think that's a nice way to look at it, Davis.
Yeah, I mean, basically your if-then statement for betting is if Scotty's playing, he's probably going to win, so you have to decide if you're going to bet him. Are you going to, are we doing Aaron Judge home run parlays to get a better Scotty number?
Yeah.
Are we doing, look,
those don't help 280.
No. I mean, look, I had a Nuggets series bet, Scheffler to win the PGA Championship. Neither leg of that came through. So I guess I don't know. I probably would have been more mad had Scotty won at the end of that one. But yeah, so basically we just look at guys we like, guys we think are good players, and instead of betting them at 25-1. When Scotty's in an event, you get him at 35-1. You get him at 40-1. And this is, this is not a premium field event. This is Scotty, Colin, and a bunch of guys. So if there's a guy you like, I've got some plays here. But if you're a big Chris Kirk guy, you're a big Aaron Rye guy, you're going to get a number that you like on him for sure.
You certainly will. Let's start with your three guys here. And they're all kind of in the same range. You've got a 40, you've got a couple of 50s. I actually have one of your guys on my card today, which is Tom Hoagie at 50-1. But you also have Siwoo and Dangerous Denny McCarthy getting involved.
All right. I know exactly what happened to Siwoo last week. He just was not ready to go. Siwoo, in 2 rounds played at the PGA Championship, lost 1.6 strokes putting. I mean, that is, to put it in perspective, that's worse than what Morikawa did on Sunday, where he did not make a putt. Well, in the end, it was 3 feet 3 inches. Morikawa did not make a putt longer than that for the entire. I mean, not that I have sour grapes or anything, but Morikawa could have won. I mean, he played very well. He just literally could not buy a putt that entire day. So Kim, I mean, he's just been phenomenal this season. One of the best players on tour, strokes gained, tee to green. I'm going to keep riding that number. Sort of the opposite here. We've got Denny McCarthy coming off of just a nightmare performance relative to the standards he's been at the PGA Championship. He is the best putter on the PGA Tour, and Colonial, compared to what we normally see on the PGA Tour, shorter golf course, much more about the wedge play, much more about getting creative with the short game. That's going to suit Denny pretty well. And Tom Hoge, I assume the reason why you have him is the same reason why I have him. One of the absolute best wedge players on tour, made the cut. Actually, is having a nice year in the major championships. Was pretty good last week. Gained, I believe, the 6th most strokes in the field on approach, so playing quite well right now.
I'm still not quite over him basically quitting on us at the RBC Heritage so that he didn't have to come back on Monday morning and dropping out of the top 10. But I'm willing to go back to him here this week due to price and due to, like you said, some of the metrics that tell you that Tom Hoge is going to have himself a pretty good Charles Schwab challenge. All right, next, we have Game 1 Western Conference tonight. Mavericks into Minnesota against the Timberwolves. Mavs getting 4.5 here in game number 1. Who do you like tonight, Davis? Who do you like for the series?
All right, look, I mean, I guess everyone was right yesterday. You know, you said everyone's on the Pacers. I couldn't believe it. I mean, look, shout out to the Pacers for giving the Celtics a series. I'm on the underdog tonight, which I'm going to assume is more popular. Luka, I actually just read this. He's 1-6 in his career in game ones. I don't know if I take that much from it, but to me, I feel like the Nuggets were a great matchup relatively for the Timberwolves because all their defensive strength is on the interior, right? Jokic against Gobert and against Kat, they have the Twin Towers in there. Whereas, Mike Conley and Anthony Edwards are going to have to be running their butts off against Kyrie and Luka. And obviously the plan will be to put McDaniels on Luka, but the Mavericks are going to be ready for that. Like, it's not like they're not going to have a plan for that. They're going to be, there's going to be lots of screeners. They're going to be running Luka off the ball, using him as a shooter. I actually think the underdog Mavericks are the right way to go tonight. And I like them for the series too, by the way.
You like the Mavs to win the series? Okay, there you go with that. Next, we talked a little bit about the Royals yesterday. They might not ever lose again. In fact, they beat up on Skubal today, who had been pitching excellent for Detroit. What a roll the Royals are on right now.
Sweep the homestand, 6 in a row, 32-19. The hitting has been very timely. Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr. is a legitimate American League MVP candidate. We've got Michael Garcia, Michael Massey, and Vinny P now are all above league average and OPS plus. That's kind of my gauge on, how many guys do you have in the lineup who are really hitting. I think they made the difficult but correct decision to move Adam Frazier to the bench after spending money on him in free agency. That's been a pretty big move, using Massey every day instead of Adam Frazier. I wish they were getting a little bit more out of corner outfield with Renfroe and Velasquez. But what's easier to get at the trade deadline than a right-handed corner outfielder / DH guy? Like you could find one of those on your way to the ballpark. It's pretty incredible. 32-19 Kansas City Royals. Really, even in the 2014-2015 seasons when they were really good, I never remember them just be like, oh yeah, we'll just win 6 games in a row, no sweat.
20 seconds left. Are you expecting much out of Blake Snell coming off the IL tonight for the Giants in Pittsburgh?
No, I'm not. I think this is going to be feels like a lost season for him. Did not have his normal off-season preparation. So let's go for Scotty's Pirates tonight.
And the over again with Colorado and Oakland tonight. You hit it yesterday. Going back to the well. Oakland and Colorado.
These terrible pitchers, man. We might as well, right? If we're at the worst pitchers in the world, we might as well take the over.
Davis Maddox, coast to coast. We're back after this.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. Took a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And we are back from Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us. Pretty much all the afternoon action, Joe, in baseball is in the books. There's only one game still going on. Twins beat the Nationals 3-2. Guardians beat the Mets 6-3. Angels beat the Astros 2-1. So after 2 dead overs the last couple nights, Joe, that was a speedy 2-hour and 18-minute getaway day in Houston between those two. There was gas cans on the mound, too, which bothers me. And the Royals win their 6th in a row, 8-3 over the Tigers. They beat Scooble. Orioles and Cardinals did get back on the field. They had a rain delay. 3-1 Orioles, bottom of the 6th right now. I have lots of games tonight, Joe, which we're going to get to in a moment. First, let me give you a couple of things from last night before we get there. First, Yankees lose 2 in a row. Joe said yesterday that Yankee loss on Monday night was going to be the start of the downturn for the Yankees season. Well, last night didn't go very well for them either. After getting the game to 4-3 after a Gleyber Torres home run, they gave a lot of it right back. Dylan Moore with 2 homers for the Mariners last night. Here's the second one on Root Sports Northwest.
3-1. To right field, backing up Soto. On the track, it is gone! Home run for Dylan Moore! And the Mariners extend the lead to 6-3. And Bebo with a big night. He's driven in 4 runs. Second homer of the night gives him 6 on the season. A 4 RBI takes him to 19.
Extend, Joe. Did you like that from Dave Sims? Extend for Seattle last night. Maybe you're right, Joe. Maybe this is the start of the downturn for them. Maybe it is.
It is, and I honestly believe that. I'm still selling, baby. You want to keep pumping up the Yankees with big fat lines? I'll take the dog straight through Memorial Day weekend. How about that? Keep buying low, selling high, or you could buy high and sell higher. I don't know. I'm going against the Yankees.
Reds beat the Padres 2-0 last night. That was a dead under. This game needed a lot of late scoring to help Joe out. He had the over a couple ways in this one. Pirates beat the Giants 7-6 in 10 innings. A big 9th inning comeback to tie it, and then Nick Gonzalez sends him home happy on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
And pinch runner, Michael A. Taylor's going to score. Nick Gonzalez has walked it off. Rays the Jolly Roger, and what a comeback for the Bucks. First career walk-off for Nicky G. 7-6 Buccaneers.
Joe, you had it all in that game. 6.5, 8.5, 10.5. You had it all in that game, didn't you?
Carver, it was 6-2, I believe, in the bottom of the ninth. Okay, and they got bases loaded, and they just started peppering them. 6-4, 6-6, him, and Nicky G from the neighborhood comes in. Nicky G, how about that? Give yourself a calzone, huh?
Get him a calzone. Phillies beat the Rangers 5-2. Bryce Harper still being Bryce Harper, NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Out to center. That's well hit. Tavares going back to the wall. Gone!
Well, that kind of backfired on Bruce Bochy a little.
It sure did. Solo home run. The Phillies are on top 3-1 thanks to Bryce Harper.
Bryce doing it again, Joe. We love Bryce Harper on Coast to Coast.
No, we do. I tell you what, we got to bet him for 50 homers. Somehow we got to get a line. 50.
They really only give you that at the beginning of the season, that 30,
around.
40, 50 homer.
We could get it at All-Star break. We potentially could get it. We got the Acuna number last year. They threw out the 40 and 40 last year.
Yeah, they did. All-Star break, they do that, Joe.
Right.
All-Star
so
break.
We might have to wait.
They do that.
We might have to wait. Let's say he's got 22 home runs by All-Star break, right? Let's get it. Get it, Carver. Hot start, Bryce Harper.
Red Sox beat the Rays 5-2 last night. I know we haven't. We're going to do the numbers probably next segment, Joe. I'm assuming you're going after that again for the third night in a row. The Red Sox and the Rays down in Tampa. You going to throw another log on the fire for that one?
Well, you see how Houston and the Angels reverted to the under because it's getaway day. Now we should go opposite. 2 games under. This one is the over. I'm going to alt it.
Okay, we'll alt it tonight. We'll get to all those numbers. I have one or two more things from last night, and then all the games for tonight when we come back and start hour number 3. Ferrall, Coast to Coast, SportsGrid Radio. We're back after this.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. To your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.